these birds are always getting into mischief. Just like you. Oh, bless you.
Well, that was cool. That went about how I expected, although it was certainly nerve-wracking. Dangerous too. I'm certain of it. But that went okay. I kind of did a little stair-step cut there just to ensure it fell where I more or less wanted it. But you can just see the way this thing, you know, this is old cottonwood. I have no idea why someone thought it was a good idea to plant one of these right next to a house, much less all the electrical and gas meters. But they did it anyway, so it died, obviously. I actually, when I was pushing on that stump, I cut it high, obviously, so I could clear the rocks. But the stump itself was kind of moving, so I might be able to dig around it and rip it out with the Kubota. Which would be my preference. I don't want to leave a stump right next to the house, as I'm certain they attract ants. Okay, I'm gonna get this trimmed up and then cleaned up with the tractor, and we'll go from there. Those are the arborvitaes I replanted earlier. They're slowly coming back. They're not completely dead, but I don't know if they're gonna make it. Well, that was a lot of work today. I spread an entire pile of mulch I had out there into the raspberry patch, so in the coming videos I'll be covering that. But yeah, we finally took that old cottonwood down, and it needed it. Man, that thing smelled terrible. I don't know why. It smelled like I was working in horse manure. It was a very wet tree. There were ants coming out of it, the base. I wasn't able to push it over with the Kubota. I was trying, even with the weight on the back. It's about 600 pounds there and 300 pounds there, so it's almost a 3,000 pound machine. It probably actually is with the bucket on the front, but it couldn't do it. So I'm going to let it die down a little bit and dry out for, I don't know, however long, and I'll continue to pick away at the roots and see if I can rip that thing out. I'd prefer that over cutting it, so we'll see if I can do that. Alright, well that's all for today. Gonna go get cleaned up. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next one. What up? So as you can see, I've gotten most of all the walls up actually, and most of the start of the roof here. I just got that one panel in. I was kind of figuring out what the best way to do it is, and scaffolding is definitely the way to go. Those ladders are just too, I don't know, it's like a 7-foot ladder. You won't be able to reach the top with that safely. So this is working out nicely. I can just stand on this, have a nice safe platform, and put each one of these guys in. So hopefully I can get this knocked out here, and then we can do a little greenhouse tour. Overall, it's gone pretty much as expected. Not awful, not great. It's been pretty windy, but that really hasn't stopped me. I've just been chipping away at it by myself here. Alright, see how much I can get done here. Well, there you have it. That is the completed Harbor Freight greenhouse, 10 foot by 12. So far with slight modifications. Mostly just some reinforcements on the panels. And of course a little bit of a frame inside. I'll show more once I get in there, but every panel I attached with several screws with the neoprene washers on them, so it holds it pretty good. I mean, this wall definitely has some flex, but for right now I'm not too worried about the wind. I am going to add a few more things inside, but I am confident that none of the panels will blow off at this point. I think the structure will fail before that happens. So the doors are, you know, they're not great. You gotta lube them up a bit. I put some silicone spray on the wheels down there and up there. But here we are on the inside of my new greenhouse. I still got the scaffolding I gotta take down, but if you're not going to use scaffolding to work on this ceiling, you better have at least a 10-foot ladder, and honestly, for the price of this scaffolding, I would just get it. You know, you can do some pretty cool storage stuff with it, And walking back and forth, you know, you kind of have to pop out these windows as you're working to put the clips in. Or if you ever just want to service it, you know, fix something. Eventually I am going to run some clear silicone on the outside of those panels. I did silicone each window into its own frame. I have these tied shut. There's a bungee cord and a piece of string. There it is, kind of holding it all together. I had those open, you know, while I was building it, and there's just no way. There's no way those will hold up to the wind. They'll be the first thing to go. They're so flimsy. Not only is the frame flimsy, but the little hook they give you is just it's laughable. And to be honest, I'm 6 foot and I could barely reach this. You know, from down on the ground, you can't even really reach the lever when it's hanging down. So, you know, you'd have to get up on a ladder to open and close them anyway, which is just not going to happen. So that's kind of the next phase of the project. For me, phase 1 was just like build the thing and get it figured out. And then phase 2 is going to be modify it and continue to reinforce it. So in here, these walls, the side walls are pretty good. They don't have nearly the flex that these front ones do. So I am going to be putting some type of structure or from here tying into that post. And these are 4x4 treated. They go about a foot into the ground. My base is made by 2x8 pressure treated. And that was definitely something that took up a lot of time, just getting the base level. I also dug this out, so I dug out probably a foot of, maybe 8 inches of clay and replaced it with the black topsoil you see here, and then covered it with mulch. Ideally in the future, I'm probably going to leave the mulch here in the middle and just rake it back probably a foot or so from the sides, and just have the perimeter where I can like grow some things, maybe flowers, maybe vegetables and lettuce and things like that when the time is right. Otherwise we'll be starting our seeds in here. But as my wife and I discovered, it's really nice just to sit out here. There's no wind, there's pretty much no bugs. It gets so hot in here during the day, I don't think they're gonna survive very long if they do get in. You can just sit in here. It's a nice quiet space that's full of light. Right now it's like 6:30 and the sun is just behind the tree line. And then what's kind of neat is here in the summer, the sun will dip past the trees over there and light this back up, so it'll actually warm it back up. Right now it's hot in here. It's 94 degrees. I've had the doors open the whole time I was finishing up some things in here. But it got up to 130 degrees in here today in the full sun, like, you know, hottest part of the day. It was I had that monitor running and it was 130 degrees. So, and of course that's with everything closed. Eventually I think I'm gonna do some type of vent on the sidewall there, maybe if I can find something solar powered to just run during the day. And I'd like to find some type of ventilation, maybe like I'm envisioning some type of almost like a heat register vent that I can slide open and close, that I can put on some of these lower panels here, so the air can come up and out. But yeah, the overall process, you know, it wasn't good, it wasn't great. It's just like assembling 100 IKEA dressers. You know, it's tedious and it's going to take a long time. So this took me probably 40 or 50 hours, I would guess, and I was working almost entirely solo. Once or twice my wife would help me, you know, lift something or hold something. But this was quite the task to get this up and built. But I'm pretty confident it should last pretty long as I continue to reinforce it and just kind of see how it works. I want to come in here when it rains and see if and where it leaks to fix that up. But yeah, this is pretty much what you get. So I don't know yet. I still got to learn how to use a greenhouse. What can be planted in here and when. But you know, step 1 is get the greenhouse, and step 2 is figure out how to use it. So that's that. I don't know what my next project will be, but I'm just going to take a little break and just enjoy the fruits of my labor here. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, one more thing I forgot to show. Check this out. I finally got that stump out with a lot of yanking with the Kubota and the chainsaw and the mattock and all sorts of other tools. But you can see I tore up the lawn, not too bad. Oh, hello. So anyways, as I was saying, yeah, that went well. It probably took me a good hour to yank that out. I made my final pull there. You can see where the four-wheel drive was digging in. Garden's looking good. Raspberry patch I got all mulched, raked. The old half there is coming in real nice. Most of the new stuff, I'd say about 80 to 90% of the new stuff I planted has taken and is growing. Pretty happy about that. I'll do a garden walkthrough someday soon, but I'm kind of out of time for today. Anywho, so yeah, I left that out on the front lawn because I enjoyed just looking at it as I defeated it. So that's heavy. I mean, it's probably 200 or 300 pounds. So I yanked it from pretty much every direction with a yellow strap on a clevis hitch on the back of the tractor, and it worked. So that was cool. Yeah, I didn't film any of it because I don't know. It's kind of a boring thing to watch. It was cool seeing the tractor make the final pull, but at that point I was like exhausted. I'd mowed the lawn for 4 hours and then spent another hour doing that, so that was a good time. So that's gone. No more stupid cottonwood, and now I can just focus on the garden. Alright, it's a couple days later, and thought we'd check in on the greenhouse. Got it set up a little more user-friendly in there with a little table and chairs. Whoo, it's hot in here. Let's see, what have we got? I don't know if I can read that. Is this dead? Hello? I think it's dead. I thought I saw inside. Oh, the screen is all black. I saw it inside. It said it was 147 degrees in here, so I thought I'd come out and take a look. I believe it. It's very hot. But I like it. I like it a little hot. So yeah, hasn't blown down yet. I've just kind of been thinking about what my next moves will be, but so far me and the family are very happy with it. It looks nice, and we do sit in there at night. There's no bugs in it. Certainly not after it hits 140 some odd degrees. It'll probably kill just about anything in there. Maybe it's like a good sanitation bay. We can get coronavirus free in there, you know, just sterilize ourselves. What I'm working on today, though, is going to be mulch. That's all I've been doing. Actually, I've got, well, not worth showing them, but piles and piles of mulch. My local tree company has, must be having a good week mulching trees, because they bring me mulch for free, and I've gotten probably 4 piles. I spent about 3 hours yesterday moving that all around the yard. So maybe once I'm done spreading it, I'll do kind of a walk around and show you the garden, show you the raspberries, and just do an update. I don't find it very interesting, not only for my own personal, I wouldn't watch a guy spread mulch on the internet, so I don't really feel like anyone else wants to, but anyway, we'll get the tractor going here and get to work. Look at this outfit I'm wearing, by the way. I wasn't really going to say anything about it, but it's gotten a little ridiculous. I just bought new work pants, some nice Carhartts, double pleated, whatever. They're really nice. I like working in them, but they're just too hot when it's 80 degrees out and you're working on a hot tractor. So I had my old jeans that I worked in that had knee holes in them, and well, now they're jean shorts, and got my work boots, got the steel toes, and an old dirty race shirt that I, you know, these always inevitably end up with oil on them. So, although nowadays they end up with little baby strawberry, I don't know, something from a child got all over me. It's just part of being a parent. You're always just covered in fluids from other people. So, okay, let's get this going. Ahoy there. It's a lovely day out here. It's probably 80, 83 degrees, slight breeze. But I finished raking out all the wood chips that I spread. Here's one area that I added a bunch to the side of the garage. Trying to just kind of smooth out this hill a little bit. I also put them all around those arborvitaes and bushes that I replanted. I still got a little bit more to do. I still have a huge pile over there. They just, it must have been hundreds of yards of mulch that I've received in the past 2 weeks. But this area is turning out nice. These little trees are coming back. There's some new growth happening on all of them. So it'll be a slow process, but I think I've saved them. Over here I remulched all of these beds. It's funny, I know if you look back in my video history, I've definitely done this task before. I also ripped out some old shrubbery kind of all around the place. Everything you see in the fire pit there was cut down. It's just all those old kind of evergreens. They were growing in here and just kind of crowding up the joint. So for now, it's looking good, looking mulched, and keeping the weeds down. And hopefully it'll help these trees grow nice and big. Over here by the garden, things have been going well. I ran the drip irrigation for a couple hours last night. We've been harvesting pounds of strawberries off of those. They're doing really nice. Minimal weeding. The fabric is working well. I don't know if I talked about how I did the fabric in the middle there, or you know, the stuff that's covering the rows, but pretty much I put my metal shovel down, and then I took a propane torch and just cut around the outline, and it worked really well. And then I used landscaping stakes to hold everything down. I put the holes they're shovel length apart, so I would cut a hole, move the shovel up, and just kind of do it that way. And we only planted every other hole, just so we don't have too many plants, but also so that we can rotate every year the number, or you know, plant in a hole one year and then plant in the next hole the following year. So hopefully that'll work out okay. But just the number of weeds that I'm not pulling has absolutely made that worthwhile. I ordered some high-powered vinegar. It's like 30% vinegar that I'm gonna dilute a little bit and spray along the fence line here, just to kill these, whatever that is, those prickery plants. So here's the other place. I was dumping mulch after mulch. There's probably a foot of mulch here along the raspberry beds. I am eventually going to add the landscaping fabric to this area in the rows, probably 8 feet of fabric. Otherwise these things, though, they'll just take over. I mean, they're already grown in the aisles. So these last 3 rows are raspberries. This is our blackberry row that's finally coming back ever since I fenced it in, and last year I had it netted. They finally came back. And then this row is raspberries that we actually dug up from around the yard. So these were naturally occurring here. So it'll be interesting to see what grows there. And then this is the new area, and it's in need of a little bit of weeding and possibly another fresh layer of mulch back there. I'm not going to go too heavy with the mulch in the rows. I'm going to try to eventually add more dirt and compost there in the fall. I've heard and read that the wood chips can sort of prevent new shoots from coming up if you do it too heavy right around the base of these plants. Got grapes here. A couple of them are coming in nicely. And then let's see, the last row is black raspberries. So this was grapes. This is all blueberries here. And then raspberries and raspberries. So yeah, there's a lot of raking, a lot of tractoring, pretty tedious stuff, just hours of back and forth. And hopefully we'll have a beautiful food forest from all of it. So wanted to give a quick update here so I can get this video out hopefully before the weekend here. It's Father's Day, and happy Father's Day to any of you who are in that category, myself included. Gonna have a nice relaxing warm weekend with the fam, and hopefully not do too much work. But yeah, this turned out nice without that tree here. It's just at a minimum, it's nice because I can finally get a wheelbarrow through here if I want to, without damaging this tree too much. Okay, well, that's kind of an update on everything that's going on here. I know that I recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so thank you to anyone who's subscribed and followed along with my journey. There's more to come, as always, but yeah, I'm not going to tell you to like or to subscribe or to smash that button. I don't care about that. If you're into this type of stuff, just a general guy doing homeowner stuff with a cute little baby and a smoking hot wife.
Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. My 2 children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the Little E's.
Follow me. Alright, thank you. Talk to you later.